Hi there, it's B from the Tatagoy system. This is my second time making this video because the first time I made it, I had a hard time not saying the word in between everything I said. And I also had a hard time with coming up with examples. And it's okay to say but yeah, I'm going to try this over again and see how it goes. So today I'm going to be talking about the concept of same-self history. And this is not something that this is something I have only heard mentioned by one system. That's the ring system that mentioned it in a video that they made on OSDD. And I will link that in the description. So my understanding of what same-self history is when members of a system will recall events as if they happened to themselves, regardless if they were fronting at the time. It seems pretty straightforward. And like the way that this works in our system is that, because I'm filming this video right now, later, if Little friends and talks to one of our girlfriends and will say, I recorded a video earlier, even if they didn't show up through the entire video and weren't even specifically co-conscious with me. Yeah, and so I think that there are a few reasons why at least our system has this same self-history, and not everyone in our system has this, but most do. And I think that this is due to mostly two reasons. I think that, well, first let me backtrack for a second. So, I don't know everything. I am the host of the system. I know the least about the system. And it is hard for other people to talk about these types of things, and I will explain why later. So I just want to say that I'm going off of the knowledge that I have, and it is probably just as much that anyone else would be able to tell you. So I don't think anyone else will show up for this. But yeah, so the reasons why I think this happens is due to a combination of things. So I think it's due to the criteria for OSDD 1A and 1B. So for us, a lot of the members of our system are versions of the same person, and I think that that makes it easier for folks to identify with the things that other people did. I think it's easier to relate, and so I think that that really contributes to that. I also think that the fact that we don't have the same kind of intense amnesia between parts fronting also really contributes to it, because folks will remember the things that have happened pretty easily. There are definitely exceptions to that. There's definitely exceptions to that. There's more exceptions to that than I know about, but yeah, I think the fact that we're able to remember the things that other people have done makes it a lot easier to relate to those experiences, even if we weren't fronting at the time. Also, so parts will say, so like I said, for the example with Little, for instance, if they say to one of our girlfriends, I recorded a video earlier, they're gonna say that probably even if they weren't relating to the experience. And I want to explain why, because I think it's important. So sometimes folks will say that something happened to them, or that they experienced something, even if they don't relate to it or don't even remember it super well. And that's because of the way that our system works in this particular way. So whoever is fronting only has access to basically the same amount of knowledge that I do. And that is to protect me, mostly me, to protect me from having knowledge I'm not supposed to have access to. And there is a part that is responsible for doing this type of communication blocking, and I have talked to them, and they work very hard at their job, and they're very good at it. And so, if someone's fronting, they're only going to, sometimes people will just be able to say shit. Will just say things and not think about it, and if they don't think about it, they're able to say things that are, like, represent knowledge that I don't have. They have to literally not think before talking if they want to get into something that I don't know about. And so if someone is fronting and talking to somebody and is making statements this applies to multiple things, right? But is talking about stuff that happened in the past to somebody, they will use I even if they don't relate to it, because it relieves pressure to have knowledge and self-confidence in knowledge about what was going on at the time. It just makes communication a lot smoother and decreases anxiety for folks. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it comes up often where someone will know that something that didn't happen to them, and they won't really feel like it did, but it feels too awkward to say that plainly, because they can't feel like it's right. Like, I feel like someone else is around a little bit. Yeah. It's difficult to, I don't know, I feel like I'm picking up on info from someone else, I'm not sure. It's difficult to be confident in the things that you're saying when you aren't actually able to have knowledge in that moment about it. You just have to go off of vibes or, like, instincts. And that can be really stressful. So yeah, I think that's also part of why people will kind of say that things happened to them even if they didn't. And often it's because it feels like it did happen to them, but sometimes it's not, and I think it's important to talk about. Yeah. I feel like that's everything I've wanted to say. I'm really curious to see if other people have this experience. It's not something that... It's not something I hear people talk about a lot. Though, from the systems that I know, a lot of people will say I for lots of things, even if they weren't the ones that did that. And that, you know, sometimes is because of their level of amnesia, but often not. And it's not something I actually have talked to other people about. So if that's an experience you have, feel free to, like, mention in the comments, and we can start a little bit of a dialogue about it, maybe. I think it's important for people to know that it's okay for this. This doesn't invalidate you as a system. This is an absolutely valid system experience, and it's something that other people experience. So if you were feeling like, this is happening to me, is this supposed to be happening to me? It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Well, wherever you are right now, sending lots of love. Okay, bye.